This project is presented to Mr. Weatherby. The purpose is to find if the ratio of nurses to doctors will level off in the future, and if it does level off, where. You also need to find if the amount of nurses or doctors will increase or decrease in the years after 1999. In my data, I found that the number of doctors in the state of Georgia is coming at a steady increase in linear form, and the number of nurses in linear form is at a steady increase. You can see that the data points are more scattered for nurses though, so it's not as relevant as it is for doctors. And in polynomial form, you can see that it's more accurate, slowly increasing the same, but more accurate as to how many. And in nurses, you can see that the polynomial form is very accurate compared to the linear form because it does slowly increase, but then it comes to a decrease, and you can't see that in linear form. Here are the numbers for the years after 1999, how many doctors there are and how many nurses there are. This shows the ratio of the average nurses to doctors in the state of Georgia. You can see that it's coming at a steady decrease and that the number of nurses isn't becoming enough to the number of doctors. The ideal ratio is 4 nurses per doctor, but you can see here that there's like 3.4 for the most part and some 3s. So ideally you want at least 1 more nurse per every doctor. There are the data points. This shows the same thing. This is a steady decrease, and this is more years after 1999, so 20 years, 40 years, 60 years. This is like predicting the future of what will happen, and this thinks that it will steadily keep decreasing. But there is a horizontal asymptote at 1.41, which says that the lowest amount you could ever get is 1.41 nurses per every doctor, which is actually very low because if the ideal ratio is 4 nurses to every doctor and you only have 1 nurse per doctor, that's very low. Here is my report on everything I found. It shows all of my graphs and everything I just explained. And I also answered all of your questions in the analysis. I know you asked if I think that it will level off in the future in the state of Georgia, and I do not think that in the state of Georgia it will ever level off to the ideal ratio of 4 nurses per doctor because it won't ever reach that if it's coming to a steady decrease. If it ever hits 1.41, that's where it will level off, but that's a very low number and not what you ideally want. If you want 4 nurses per doctor, I would say you could try and promote the people in Georgia to become nurses or up the money so that they get more nurses because that's necessary. Here I also have the Word document and the Excel document in my email, but they will not open because I don't have either of these documents in my computer. But I hope this answered all of your questions. Bye.